All right. So Ryan is in the building. Welcome to Plugged In. I'm really excited to have DJ Private Ryan in the building. Ooh.
Wait, somebody asked for a refund already because I late. Wait. Oh
Oh
God.
gosh, you see, it's already begun. That's why you shouldn't be late to your own, this is
That's
an
what I'm
event.
saying,
This is an online event.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
yeah,
thought you
yeah.
had to
Nah,
shave your head.
I was always here. You understand? I was always here, like always. Always.
Oh gosh. So let's jump right into this. So you are international DJ Private Ryan,
Mm-hmm.
producer, event curator, your girlfriend's favorite DJ.
Mm.
I know everybody wants to know, where did you come out from? Because you started with mixes at FIU, and then boom, all of a sudden, you're world boss DJ Private Ryan. I feel like there was no transition that people really could have said, okay, like I've just watched this whole process. It was like mixes took over, boom, DJ career, event career. Like, I want to know, I know the people want to know, how was that journey? Like, talk to us about that.
Um, I mean, for people, it may seem like if it was just out of the blue, but it was a journey because, I was from like 15 years old already playing in clubs in Trinidad. So anyone who lives in Trinidad and knows about bass and coconuts and those things, I was playing there when I was 15. My parents used to be picking me up. Yeah, I used to be hiding because I didn't want people to know my mother was picking me up. But hey, I did it anyway. So, I I went through that. Then, while I was studying in well, after the high school, I was here for a year. I worked on the radio station 96.1 down here. I went to college, and then I was playing college parties and studying at the same time. And that's when I created the mixes. And then the mixes, they took over the college circuit, like all, FIU, FSU, Miami International, all those schools were, and even like Howard, I had a lot of Howard friends, friends in Atlanta, so like they were natural ambassadors because they would be listening to the mixes and it would spread. Then promoters would then start bringing me to do the college events. So I did, I have to find pictures of all these things because there's a huge history in terms of the college circuit I did. I went up to Syracuse University and played there in their Caribbean parties as
Oh,
well
wow.
too. Yeah, I was in the cool. Like, I have to find those pictures. Made some friends all over, and from that journey of doing events and doing the whole Caribbean circuit, and then creating my own events, which would be the Soca Brainwash, Soca Starter, Postcard, really Press Play, those things, which were by extensions of the mixes, and then now going into production, which is a natural progression, creating the music. So right now, I'm in a position where I'm DJing, so I'm actually playing content. I'm creating events and I'm creating content as well too. So I mean, it's a kind of balance, and I have to keep the quality because they all require different skill sets and
Right.
creativity. Part of your creativity, So it's
So
about
when
keep.
you started out with the mixes, did you have in mind that you were going to do a party? Or did you initially thought, okay, you know what, I'm going to put out these podcasts, there's a need for this, and you kind of went about it that way? Or did you already kind of have in your mind and conceptualize that you wanted to do events as well with the mixes?
I always knew that I wanted to turn not all of them, but certain ones into events. So Soca Brainwash was always one that I wanted to turn into an event. When I created Soca Brainwash, I hadn't created Soca Start yet. It was called the Soca Sampler, and then I kind of said, you know what, I wanted to rebrand it and do that. Press play came later, so yes, I always wanted to do press play, but there are two in particular that I wanted to turn into events, and funny enough, they haven't turned into events yet, but there are two things that I always intended to do, and that was Private Ryan versus the Music, which is one that is me playing all the different genres, and it's me primarily playing. And
Is the other one Freestyle Fridays?
No. Summer
Oh.
Bunny. Summer Bunny was
Okay.
always meant to be this summer party that, I want to do, which I will do. Actually, I intended to do it this year, but then COVID happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the things that any entrepreneur will understand, and it is a lesson, because it is a lesson as well, is that at the center of a business, there also lies it's not a label that but it's something that anyone will need to know. That's personality management, right?
Mhm.
And when you have to deal with personality management, dealing with the dynamic of several different people around the world that have both a professional and personal relationship with you. You have to know how to manage that, because, you know, if you don't manage that well, it could lead to very stressful situations dealing with people. And, you know, I kind of have to do that, you know, all the time, you know.
But how necessary do you think it is for a DJ to have a mic man?
Depending on the situation, it is important, because sometimes interaction is needed. Sometimes the people need more. They need a little more than just music, but they also don't want it to be overwhelming, because the music needs to breathe. So like the dynamic, you just need to understand it, balance it off, but also at the core of it, which is where, you know, working with MCs, understand that the core of it is the music. So when I work alongside, let's say, a Barry Hype, or Kevin, Tony X, or Rigo, and the list goes on, you know, with the Trinidad MCs, a Shal, a Trevlin, or whoever, there's a science to playing alongside each of them, because all of them have different personality traits on stage. So, for example, Kevin is energy, Barry's argument, Tony is swag and charisma, Rigo's a showman, right? Kevin is more stationary, so he more stands next to you. So, like, understanding each one is, Patrick also is so, like, understanding how to work with each one is the secret to being able to deliver. How, you know, you still have to remain yourself into the way you play, but you have to also feed into their strengths to give them the ammunition they need to put on a show. So, I mean, it's a lot of, and that's what I'm saying, like, in terms of the selection process for Brainwash, that is, just to go back to your initial question with that as well too, it's just seeing people who are ready, but also understanding that there are people with raw talent who will get there eventually.
Yeah,
that's the balance in that. And one life to live, and only so much time. And the thing about life is that you don't know how much time you actually have. So you can plan all you want, but the plans can change for you in the next step.
Exactly like what COVID did to us. You know, we were
right, and understanding that is what understanding that is what keeps you humble as well too, because you could understand that everything that you plan could be taken away from you in an instant. That is the reality of life. I mean, I sampled Feely Love on a mix, I think, 2 years ago. And imagine that the year that Feely Love comes out happened to be the perfect year for Feely Love to exist.
Yep.
So it means everything happens at time, which is why you have to look at
God's timing. Never question.
Everything happens in a specific timing, and there was no better time for Feely Love to be in this world than now, knowing exactly what it means to people right now, which is why, you know, I can't deny, it's an undeniable force that made that song, or made the decision to have that song this year happen. And so we may not see the full picture now, but Feely Love is now beginning its journey around the world, and I really do believe so. I really
endorse that 100%. Like, it's that everyone can listen to that song and feel the energy that it's meant to have.
The beautiful thing about Feely Love as well is that Feely Love literally, like, it spoke about love in a universal way, but as well it described what carnival is. For someone who doesn't understand why people carnival chase, Feely Love is actually what it is.
Yeah.
So, like, even the lines, million people coming down dancing to a song, right? The lines, you know, people live 1,000 lives but never feel this free. All those things actually speak to the feeling that people have of carnival and why people are so emotionally attached to it.
Yeah.
It is the thing that I think some people take for granted, when they try to isolate why it is I feel this attached to carnival. You know, people from the outside is like, yeah, you know, dancing behind trucks and all it, you know, but they don't understand the energy that is surrounding that, the ability to celebrate yourself, your culture, music, make friends, be happy, not have any worries,
and you're not setting anything at that moment.
Right, you're in this zone, which is why, again, when you go back to when the energy. So I just articulated what I articulated, the song I wanted, right? When we created Soca Brainwash the Wonderland, because that's why it's named the Wonderland Rhythm, is because it was supposed to be the theme song for the Wonderland. What is the Wonderland?
Right.
And the Wonderland is this chase of this feeling that we have. What is this free spirit and happiness that we feel when it comes to carnival? But how do we describe it without saying the word carnival? And that is what Feely Love is. Feely Love then talks to everybody, but it literally is describing what our culture is in one song.
What do you think your responsibility is as a DJ to your fans, and to the people?
DJ wise, you have to inspire, you have to entertain. It's a balance. So like for me, there's a responsibility for the younger generation to set an example. So being in a position now where you become a household name, it comes with great responsibility. So you have to make sure that I show appreciation to the craft of DJing. So the craft of DJing, the art of mixing, the art of blending the music, the art of telling a story with the music, the art of taking risks, the art of being able to storytell and deliver in a way that's entertaining. In the carnival circuit is also the ability to then on your back, not be fearful of playing new music, because when we are faced with the carnival season in January in Trinidad in particular, there are 400 plus songs, and then much more, but I mean the ones that end up in rotation, 400 songs or so that we as DJs have to educate the masses about. So when you're in my position, you can either play it safe and play the regular hits that people will respond to, or you can take it upon yourself to then be a leader and then play the songs that they may not immediately respond to now, but you know that you're building the response for 3 or 4 or 5 weeks down the line. So you're building, the patrons don't realize it, but you're building their carnival experience from early. And then while they may criticize you at first, they're the ones that are going to jump to you a little later, and they're going to remember, they're going to thank you for it. So it's very important that you be a leader in a lot of different ways. And so like as a DJ, I take that very, very, and that's why too I'm very disciplined with the mixes as well too, because at the core of it is DJing. Like, there's no, you can't, I tell people this time that we're in now, especially that we're on pause, you can't fake, good DJing. The people will see it, they will feel it, and they will know it. Because when you're live and when you're doing all these things, they are going to see how good you actually are and what you can actually do. And there have been people even now after years that they've been looking at the lives and they said, wow, you actually can DJ. I'm like, so yeah, I was doing on mixes before, like I was doing this live. People still question whether these things are actually live or not, but they really are. So also understanding balance. So for example, we're looking at the you could be talented, but when you're in a position of power, or influence, I should say, not power but influence, they have impressionable minds. So what I say, what I do in my life, while you want to be yourself, you have to understand that there are people who will emulate you.
DJing, like a lot of people are not studying to have conventional jobs anymore. And DJing has actually been recognized as a real job. Given that you are a role model, amongst, the younger community, what advice do you think that you would give this upcoming generation? Like both those wanting to, become a DJ, and even as far as, those who would just want to be entrepreneurs.
Okay, so the answer to that question is an understanding that not everyone has the same resources as everyone else. So not everyone may be as fortunate or blessed as I was to go to college, right? That is a fact. But on the other end, I will endorse everybody to educate themselves. Now, education lies in different ways. Not everyone may go to college, but it's important to empower yourself with knowledge. Empowering yourself with knowledge is the first step, because it will give you perspective. It also builds your mind to be able to think through various situations. and we are going into a new world now. You know, as you said, everything has changed in a matter of a month. You know, the world that that's gonna come out on the other end of this is going to be different. It is important even for people, even a college mind. This is not even just about college, even your street sense, everything. You need to educate yourself to be ready for the challenges up ahead. With that being said, I will be the first one to say that anyone who has a dream, anyone who has a natural passion or talent, I think true happiness and in terms of reaching that self-actualization, you know, if you study psychology and you reach the top of your pyramid, just in your journey to self-actualization, which is the top, it's important to know who you are, what you want to accomplish, what you want to do, and pursue it. I don't think there should be anybody who should tell you that you cannot accomplish something or you should not be able to accomplish whatever you set your mind out to. Because had I listened to, you know, people who told me about Soca Brainwash, I never would have taken the risk to do it on Carnival Saturday. The same way I would have been deterred from DJing and said, yeah, that DJing thing is going nowhere. And you know, I have friends who made that joke. It's like, Ryan, boy, you was a fun. He told me he was a DJ, and I thought, boy, this thing not gonna go nowhere. And they happen like that. And you know, there's so many different examples of success stories around the world where you hear that people may have been told that they can't do something, but then they were able to rise above it. So like merging your passion with a natural talent, and then empowering yourself with knowledge is like a perfect storm of how you would be ready to take on
formula.
To get to where you want to get to in this life in general, you know. So I think that's important. That's what I would say to anyone who's, and this applies to music, this applies to business ideas, this applies to even in terms of even school, everything. Like these are things that you just have to, you know, and you have to be able to sift the bad mind out, because there will be bad mind people who will try to.
Let's touch on that. Like, how do you deal with negativity if you get any? How do you deal with that? How do you deal with that type of situation? Because we all go through it, and I know that everyone deals differently. But what advice do you have for that?
The first thing you need to understand with success is that it comes with negativity. So that's the first thing, right? Understanding that means that you understand that there will be people who will speak against you. There will be people who will not be happy for your success and will say and do things that will discredit it. So like for anyone who has to deal with it, is part of it, you know. But you need to understand the difference between constructive criticism and bad mind, because sometimes you could sift through bad comments, but you could find truth in them. So somebody who might be harping on something is because they found a weakness. In self-aware too, you have to be aware, you know, you have to know to be able to take the talk and sometimes see where there may be truth, but not let it consume you. Because if that consumes you, is where you could go down a road of self-doubt and depression and then, you know, wanting to give up. And those are all things that happen. I've seen it happen to many people, and it's a struggle. It's a real struggle. Mental health is no joke.
No, at all. Which is why I'm really happy that, you know, stuff like this is going on. Like, we're able to connect in a digital space and people are able to come on, because I think that right now a lot of people need these things. Like, a lot of people want to hear from, you know, the Private Ryans and the Skinny Fabulous. They want to watch you guys play. They want to connect with you guys because they can't connect. They're at home, you know, there's nothing really going on. So it's a scary thing. But I know that you mentioned, so, you know, with success comes a lot of negativity. What do you think is your definition of success?
I think that is self-defined. Everybody has their own milestones, you know. So success isn't about money or popularity. Those are things that come with success. But success could be as simple as achieving certain milestones. So if you know you wanted to connect with 50 people today, and you connected with 50 people, and you were able to inspire 50 people, you were successful in your day. You made it could I consider this interview successful? My measuring stick for that is, was I able to inspire? Was I able to educate, to make a difference? Right? So that's a measuring stick for success. So I think, you know, success comes when mentally you've set yourself a target, and then you know if you've accomplished that or not.
Mm-hmm.
you know. And yes, some of it could be monetary, because if you know you want to save X amount of money, or if you want
Right.
to buy a house, or if you want to have a family by a certain time or whatever, you may be successful in your own personal milestones. Um, but don't think that popularity, money, thing, like one of the most successful things you could have is your health too.
Yep.
You because without your health, you have nothing. And trust me, you don't want to be a sick person. Like, it is not easy to be, and this is not just physical, this is mentally,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So, another thing that it should be a measuring stick for success is, are you able to keep healthy, and then also, support others, the ones that depend on you. And that could be your children, that could be your mother, your father, or anybody, your wife, your husband, anything.
One quality about a girl that you'd be like, I want to rock on her team. Like, I want her on my team, kind of thing.
If she is able to, all right, I mean, there's so many answers to that question, but a girl you could come home to and y'all can literally have conversations about everything. And she also is able to find humor in a lot of things too, just like me. Because if anyone knows me, like, people know I could find humor in
Yeah,
real
yeah.
nonsense.
You're
Which is what you lighten up. You want to be able to be light, and the person, you just want someone that you can be yourself with,
yeah.
and yeah, you don't feel judged, and vice versa. That's home now. That is what
Right.
you would want. In terms of that.
Something about yourself that would probably shock the fans, like that nobody would know, whether it be like something that happened to you or just a talent that you have. But like, what's something that people would be like, nah, for real?
I have a great talent to draw, so I draw a lot.
Oh.
Well, I can't draw. I like one of my early talents before DJing is a cartoonist looked at the things I was drawing, and he said, "You have a really good knack for doodling." So I can scribble and draw things very well. Even the Soccer Brainwash logo. Before I sent it to the designer, I actually drew the logo, and then
Oh.
he then yeah. So like, I can draw very well. But apart from that, if you've seen my other interviews, I used to be a video game. I used to love video games, but particular video games. And my favorite video game of all time is actually Mortal Kombat. And
Oh,
so
snap.
if you ask if anyone is a Mortal Kombat fan, I can literally probably answer almost anything about Mortal Kombat that exists. Yeah, and it's a weird thing, but it is one of those things. Yeah. Question. Oh boy. I don't know what I would describe myself as in one word, I think I think it depends on the day, yes.
Justin said Zessa.
Just say yes. Nah, boy, it just depends on the day. But I think I inherited it from my father, like I could find humor in a lot of different things, eh? I could tell you that. So I mean, boy, I can't.
He is.
All right, I could see that versatile in
Yeah.
different ways, because behind a lot of different things is just a lot of different mindsets, moods. You have your days. I could be humorous one day, I could be serious another day. It's just one of those things. You're producing, you're DJing, you're doing events, you're drawing, you're playing Mortal Kombat. You're like, I mean, what you gonna do, boy? One morning you're drinking smoothies, the other morning you might want an omelette. Like, that's really, that is me, boy. Like, it is what it is.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Okay. And what's your favorite thing to do when you're not traveling? So, like, when you're home outside of quarantine, what was your favorite thing to do when you weren't on the road?
Two things, and they're opposites. So there's solitude, which is good because you get to be quiet, but there's also socializing. So one thing I like about being home in Trinidad in particular, even when I'm in Miami or in between, like when I'm in New York and in these places, I love to see my friends and get a chance to sit down with them and talk with them and just catch up and do those things, because I like being light. So like, in terms of that, I really love to connect with the energy of people, which is a fact. And then sometimes you just like being alone.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just like, just being alone and mentally just not doing anything. So, you'd watch a series or like even if I'm creating, funny enough, it's relaxing. So like if I just in a mood to make music, I'll do that and that's relaxing.
Right.
So yeah.
And okay, so this is like a really controversial question, and I know that a lot of people have asked me, a lot of people have been asking, but who really won Shirt Wars?
Me. That like this is a question.
Because the people want to know. The people really want to know. Did Ryan Saeed win? Did Tony X win? Like, who really won?
I mean, they tried. They put up valiant, efforts. Like, I have to shout out to them. They tried. And the thing is, sometimes I wasn't even competing. Like I was just trying to, I just, go along with it. But they couldn't keep up with the Shirt Wars. Or Shirt Wars was supposed to return in summer, but we'll see. Saeed claims that he tells his followers. Saeed is a propaganda kind of guy. He tells his followers when he won and all these things. But
ooh,
listen,
look, Barry says Saeed won.
Saeed won. Barry, are you saying that
I'm
Saeed
out of this
won?
Oh gosh.
Oh boy. He doesn't gonna say it's Photoshop, boy.
Right? Facts.
He doesn't gonna hate.
Haters go hate. Oh my gosh. No, but I'm really happy that we had a chance to, sit down and rock, and people got opportunity to really get to know you on another level. What do you think? What would be your advice? Obviously what we're going through right now is a very difficult situation outside of all the jokes and everything. And we're all just trying to find different ways of coping and, just staying sane at the end of the day. So what advice do you have for people who may just, want to be creative at home? They're going through this pandemic, like what advice do you have for them to push forward?
First of all, stay home. Don't go out.
Yes.
Second of all, just embrace your creativity. Like this is ideas time, This is where the ideas of the new world will come out, whether it be a new business, a new event, production, DJing, anything like you're learning a new skill.
Mm-hmm.
What if I become Trinidad's top chef after this? Like, what if I learn how to make curry properly, and these are the things. So like, no, you have to embrace the time. You have to embrace the silence. Sometimes it's better to embrace the silence, because you'll be able to really come up with new ideas and policies and ways of going forward with your own creativity,
Wami said tips to build relationships with artists.
Over time, and shoot your shot. Sometimes, if you have access to an artist and you see them and, just have a conversation, you don't necessarily have to be in radio or a popular DJ to then build a rapport with an artist who could then respect what you're doing. And the simple things you could do, these are just unorthodox marketing methods, but let's say you wanted to meet Lyrical, or you just wanted to have a rapport with Lyrical, and you made a best of Lyrical mixtape, and people tagged you and say, hey, this mixtape is really good, this DJ made this, and then you're able to connect with him and say, hey, I'm a big fan.
Yeah.
So little thing like that, he might respond and say, hey, give thanks for the mix, glad you appreciate the work, and then you build a relationship. So you just find different ways to kind of connect with the artist. And the artists will, in this new world, will be looking for that because, of course, they want their music out there too. So as much exposure they could get, they'll take it,
Right, of course. So
is something that you need to program yourself. You need to reprogram how you think, because I am the kind of person that incorporates like little scratches and playing acapellas and doing this and doing that. And so in order for me to merge what people know as Private Ryan along with a miking ability, which a lot of people actually do actually appreciate the fact that I don't speak on the mic. Right. That's something that I need to kind of work on. over time. And that's, so I appreciate all the people in the, especially in the Caribbean market, who are able to do it.
Right.
But it's not as simple as people think, you know.
Oh gosh. DJ
Exactly my
Boost
point.
asked, what's the best way to brand yourself as a DJ to build up your following? Utilize social media.
Yeah, social media is one of them. You know, you just have to create your organic following. It comes from like even new ways of networking and stuff, you know. When you have friends, you know, they could be your organic ambassadors. So if you are good at it, they then become the people who spread the word naturally, and and you know, it goes out. And so understanding who you're targeting is the first thing. Like, you know what you want to be and who you want to be directly speaking to, and then just build on that over time. And don't think that you know there's no such thing as too small. It could start as 2 people that could then evolve into 8, then it'll go to like 15, then it'll go to 20, and then over time you realize that it spreads so organically that you realize that you're talking to hundreds of people. When you start commanding hundreds of people, it means that you start having actual fans. Now, it's important to understand that Instagram, and this is a really important
fans and
point.
real life fans are different fans.
No, your followers do not equate to your fans.
Yeah.
They are not the same.
Right.
There are people who follow you that are not your fans, and then there are fans who don't follow you, right? This is, so understanding the power of creating a movement isn't just by social media metrics, which is why it's important to be very organic with your following as well too, right? And a lot of people get lost in, oh, I have X amount of followers, but that is why there are artists and DJs and stuff that may have followers, and then they let them throw a party and nobody comes. It's because those people aren't necessarily your fans.
Yep, facts.
You understand? Your fans believe in you. They invest in you. They are on a journey with you, right? So there's a big difference. Understanding that is one of the most important things in terms of knowing how to maneuver this entertainment industry, because it could be a very, very harsh wake-up call. You know? Yeah.
To support the DJs, guys, support the culture, download the music, you know, buy the music. Ryan is on all platforms, SoundCloud, Facebook, Instagram. Follow him, follow me. Every week I'll have a new artist, a new guest. You never know who's going to be on the show, so follow me to stay tuned. But Ryan, Private Ryan, thank goodness that this quarantine has happened, because you had 2.5 hours to talk to me. This would never have happened.
Wow, look at that. Wow, I feel that was some shade. Hey, somebody say All Inclusive New York is coming soon. No, it's not. New York does not.
Agreed.
Yeah, man.
Well, thank you all for watching. You guys stay blessed. And, you know, don't forget, slide in Ryan's DM. If you have access to an island.
If you have an island.
Send Ryan a DM. Send me a DM too.
Send me
I
a
want to go
DM.
to the island. But have a blessed night, guys. And we'll see you guys soon. Mwah. Bye, Ryan.
Hey, good night. Yeah, man.
Bye.